Hello, 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 my beloved souls. It is Twin Flame Tuesday. So happy October, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. It's a powerful month. We are near the first quarter moon in Capricorn. So we're really taking some beautiful action steps with all the things that we're manifesting under that new moon in Libra. This is the time of things moving forward, evidently, from the plane going by. Partnerships, harmony, right? All this delicious energy of really just getting into balance with ourselves and with the world at large, right? So this big oneness and connectedness is going on. We're approaching the full moon in Aries, right? On the 9th of October. So Aries is a very fiery sign, right? Fiery, feisty. I know I'm an Aries sun. And can be a little aggressive, right? On the kind of shadow side, like kind of make things happen, ram through things, get a little impatient at times. And it's a really sensitive time, right? As we're getting closer and closer towards this full moon. If you happen to be empathic like I am, right? You're really picking up on these high level energies really around you, right? And so it can be a little exhausting, and it can also make you a little like aggressive and afraid, right? It's just kind of like very irritable energy if you aren't very grounded and centered at this time. So just be really mindful of that, right? Be mindful that although Mercury has gone direct, it is still the shadow side, right? So we got about 3 weeks where we're still in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. So things are going to be loosening up, things are going to be lightening up, things are going to be changing, but just be mindful of responding and not reacting, right? Understand that like everybody right now is just kind of going through it, right? Whether they've been healing their emotions within themselves and about themselves, or they're healing and kind of working things out through external partnerships, right? Everybody's kind of being shifted at this time. A lot of the couples that I'm working with, especially divine masculine's been having massive like overthinking and their seventh chakra like really being activated and upgraded at this time, and then the divine feminines with their heart chakras being cracked open, and even a lot going on with their throat chakra and just really learning how to like communicate clearly, right? And not being on the extremes of those two things, right? Because if you are quick to just lash out and yell and scream and flip out, right? That's one side of the coin, and the other side of that coin is complete silence, right? Both are unhealthy because you're not doing what the one thing that's needed, which is communicating. So you want to be really, really mindful of that. And a lot of deep inner healings going on from childhood and from just like karmic patterns from past lives. So healing of the maternal and paternal lineages, right? That can be really deep and intense. And a lot of what I'm seeing in collective is that those old issues are starting to come up, especially as we're getting into these unions, right? Our divine unions, when we're either being awakened onto this path or when we come into contact with our divine feminine or divine masculine because they're triggering us, right? Triggering the things within us that haven't been truly healed at this time, right? And so that can be a little off-putting, right? And then you have this like runner and chaser scenario and all this other stuff going on, and everybody just needs to take a time out, right? Get some peace, get some rest, right? Understand the difference between projection and reflection, right? Is this something being projected onto you that has nothing to do with you or any part of your being or your soul contract, and somebody's just going through something at this time? Or is this a reflection back to you of something within yourself that you haven't healed yet that maybe you need to bring awareness to, and your beautiful twin flame just showed you your blind spots, right? So we have that power, right? The power of awareness is super super strong and super potent and super imperative. So having said all that, right? We're at the beginning of October. October is a 7 month, so that's about like mysticism and intuition and our psychic abilities. Seven is the God number, so a lot of those deeper awarenesses, your knowledge, your wisdom, your understanding, really being activated if you should choose to ask for it, right? Ask God for wisdom. It is granted to everybody unbiasedly, right? Grace coming into everybody's life at this time, right? Unmerited, unearned favor by the divine. So really just embracing all of those energies and allowing it to flow through you, especially with the twin flame collective, right? There's so much healing going on, so much activations, and a lot of patience being needed. A lot of patience being needed when it comes to the twin flame, more so than anything. All right. Not only am I going to pull from the romance angels this week, I'm also going to pull from the unicorns because they had a message for you guys. Thank you, angels. Thank you, guys. We had come out children, right? Your love life is being affected by children. Listen, like I said, a lot of childhood wounds are being healed as well as karmic patterns from their past, right? Um, our parents did the best that they could from where they were at, right? Does it mean it was perfect? Does it mean it was the right thing? Does it mean it's the best thing for you? Not necessarily, but they did the best that they could. A lot of people, a lot of people just don't haven't had an example of what a healthy relationship looks like, and so they are out here kind of replaying these roles of unhealthy relationship dynamics. And it's not from a conscious place, right? It's not like somebody's like freaking ghosting you because they were conscious of the fact that they were abandoned as a child and now like that's their go-to energy. No, because once you know something, right, you do something about it, right? When we know better, we do better. But a lot of this energy is coming up right now within the collective, right? So really just kind of taking a step back and learn and seeing like where did I learn about love, what did I see about love growing up, right? What are the different aspects of love and how am I showing up in these regards, right? How am I communicating, how am I expressing my needs, how am I expressing my desires, how am I being a support to my person, right, in this relationship, in this dynamic, whatever it is, you know. I grew up seeing a lot of abuse, right? And physical abuse is easy to kind of see and deal with because you got bruises, right? You see the blood, you see the bruises, you see whatever, right? And so I knew that was like a hard no for me. But what I didn't see behind the physical abuse was the mental, the emotional, sometimes the sexual and the financial abuses, right? That go with that. And so it took me growing up and kind of replaying these scenarios out in my own relationships for me to have a better understanding of those relationships, or even those patterns, right? And just didn't have a lot of healthy relationships growing up around me. Most of the relationships that I saw, the normal was violence, abuse, and arguments, and projection, and all this kind of stuff, right? And so took years of shifting through that energy to be able to traverse that energy and to come out of it. And I had to be able to stop and look. And I literally called the Holy Spirit one time and I'm like, come, Holy Spirit, come. Like, show me where I got this from. Like, show me the blind spot. Show me what I'm missing. And I got shown some very clear pictures of just me and my childhood and different examples of these energies, right? And where it came from. And so with that knowingness and that awareness, I was like, oh, okay, cool, right. Got my power back, got retrieved my soul from that time and it was able to move forward. But that was a challenge. And that's me who is someone who does conscious work all the time, right? Someone who is working with other people all the time and working through the scenarios. That's how I was able to do some of that healing. Not everybody has that kind of support or awareness or, you know, even that position where you're working with people and then, you know, working with people, you're healing yourself at the same time. So compassion is really needed at this time, right? Compassion for yourself and compassion for others because it can be scary to be a child in that scenario and not have any power, right? Whether you're seeing verbal abuse or physical abuse, mental abuse, you know, whatever, however it plays out, right? So thinking that this young child still dwells within a lot of adult bodies walking around, right? And they're doing the best that they can to try to traverse those energies within this adult shell, but it's really a shell, right? It's really a frightening shell of someone who is just a little traumatized, right? A lot of self-sabotaging going on within the collective, especially within the twin flame communities that I'm seeing, right? A lot of self-sabotage. A lot of people really not believing that they're good enough for these connections. And I'm not talking about you saying like, oh yeah, I think I'm the best and I'm good enough and she's bugging or he's bugging. No, I'm not talking about the arrogant facade that we put on to try to make ourselves feel better. I'm talking about looking at your relationships and being like, why do I keep screwing up good things? Why am I walking away from good people? How come I keep dating the same kind of bitch? How come I keep dating the same kind of fuckboy? Like these are the questions that you need to be asking yourself as you're moving forward. Guide people all the time. Like if you're still healing, you should not be dating. If you're healing, you should not be dating at this time. You should be working on you and figuring you out. The end of the day, when it comes to the twin flames, right? First and foremost, before you can even get into alignment with or really receive the your twin flame in your full capacity, you have to be able to love yourself, right? So how are you showing up in a manner of self-love? How are you loving and honoring and respecting yourself at this time? Do you love yourself? You know, can you say that? And I'm not talking about just externally loving yourself. I'm talking about loving yourself at every single level, right? The part of you that was abandoned, the part of you that was abused, the part of you that was lied to, the part of you that was betrayed, the part of you that was toxic and narcissistic and needy and jealous and emotional when it was unhealthy because you were being manipulative, right? Do you love all of those aspects of you as well as the stuff that we put on paper so we can look good? These are the things that we're working through, right? And a lot of this stems from childhood. A lot of it stems from childhood. I know sometimes this can be, I mean, this is also for those of you that have children, right? This might be something that's going on, and this might be something that you're starting to see in them, right? Because our children do what they see. So how are they interacting with others? How are they interacting with their siblings? How are they interacting with you? That is a reflection of kind of some of the things that are going on within, right? Do you need to make a change now so that your children can have a better tomorrow? I know I am. Every day I got to show up for myself. All right, look. Healing family issues, right? Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. We already touched on this, but like I said, our parents did the best that they could from where they were at. Good, bad, or indifferent, that's what it is, right? You know better, do better. My goal is to have my children be better than me than I ever was. That is my goal, right? And every day I'm trying to up level myself. So guess what? They're my expectations are getting up level for them just because I want the best for them, and they do what they see. So they're going to see mommy get it together and grind and hustle and have a magnificent life without working herself into a grave, right? But doing things out of joy, love, and just pure abundance, right? That's where we're shifting towards, right? Because they, I learned it by watching you, right? Remember the 1980s commercials with freaking Nancy Reagan? I'm dating myself. Don't judge me. All right, romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. Are you running from these feelings because of your fears and your traumas and your pains, right? Are you running from your feelings because it's so foreign to you because you've never had a healthy, actual, intimate relationship that it's kind of throwing you off, right? You think there's a catch. It's like, why are they being so nice to me? What does she want? What does he want? So many people within the collective, so many couples that I've been working with, I'm just getting are used to, especially when it comes to the divine masculines. They are so used to the 3D persona being like on fleek that they're also used to dealing with people at that very shallow materialistic level, right? They're used to people who only want them because of how much money they have or their outfits or, their car or where they live. And so when they meet a divine feminine who is, on her road to healing or has been doing a lot of deep inner work and she just wants to be with them because of their energy as a masculine and doesn't want anything else but their time and like their attention, it's like, what is this? What is that? Like, this is a joke. It's like so many of them are thinking that the rug is gonna be pulled from under their feet, right? Or like they're gonna wake up from the dream and actually it was only a dream. Not understanding that they deserve this, right? You deserve this. You deserve love. You deserve the intimacy. You deserve the feeling you get in your stomach when you connect with that person and you just kind of feel kind of shy. You deserve to have your life covered in angel bumps again, right? You deserve that. You do. You're the divine masculine and divine feminine. You deserve that. So are you running from that because you don't know what it looks like? Or you're afraid because it feels too good and you think that if something good happens to you, it's going to be taken from you, right? These are some of the things that you can work on and work through. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy, right? Open up your heart. Listen, stop running from this because of this, right? This may not be what you want, but you're pushing this away by holding on to this, right? Look at it and learn from it so that you can have this. Look at it and learn from it. Not through judgment, not through criticism, but just through awareness. And then open your hearts and your minds to this beautiful, passionate, loving, romantic connection. That for some of you is coming together very, very soon. If you're not already in union, right? Expect it. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. We're moving towards that full moon in Aries, right? Write down your manifestations. Get crystal clear on what you want your intimate relationship to look like. Again, this is never about, oh, they need to be tall, dark, and handsome, or she needs to have like, her waist needs to be snatched, and she's gotta have big titties, and like none of that. We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about what kind of person do you want to date? A high quality man or woman who is spiritually awakened and following their soul's path and creative or funny or financially responsible or likes to travel. Like these are the things. Like I love to travel, right? So my divine counterpart is going to be someone who loves to travel. I'm not going to leave you at home. I want to travel the world with my boo, right? Like that's part of the things. I love to laugh. My friends got mad jokes. I got mad jokes. My family got jokes, right? So I want to be with someone who's also funny, who's a little spontaneous, but also responsible. Like, yeah, there's a time when we can get up and go, and there's other times we got to sit down and do what we got to do, right? Got kids in school, got responsibilities. But hey, Saturday, maybe when we don't know what to do, we'll take a day trip somewhere and figure it out, right? Like these are the things that I enjoy. So I'm very clear with the universe as to what I want, right? They have to be an amazing lover because I am, and I'm not going to be with someone who's whack in bed. I'm just not. These are these are the things. You know what I mean? So get really crystal clear on what it is that you want in your relationship. What are the things that really matter to you, right? Morally, what are the things that matter to you? Maybe I don't want to date someone who's sexist or date someone who's racist, right? These are things that are important to me. I got my family looks like the Benetton commercial. You know what I mean? You're not gonna come at me crazy. I have all types of friends, especially those in the LGBTQ community. You know what I mean? So you're gonna talk to my friend crazy. You're gonna speak to my cousins crazy. No, you're not. These are the things that matter to me. So what matters to you? Get really crystal clear on it. Get crystal clear on it, so you know who you're aligning with. Okay, if you haven't already done that. Trust, bottom of the deck. The situation is calling for you to have faith. It's hard, right? It's hard to trust and have loyalty when you've been betrayed, when you've been lied to, when you've been hurt by those that love you the most, quote unquote, right? By your friends, by your family, right? By the people that are supposed to protect you. It's really hard to have that energy of trust from that space, right? It's really hard to have that energy of trust when you've seen your father betray your mother, or your mother betray your father, or however it went down. You're healing family issues and you don't have an example of what this looks like. You don't know what this looks like, right? Because that's all you grew up around. You have no idea what this feels like because this is all you've ever known, right? And so now we're moving away from that pain, away from the trauma. Now we're all acknowledging and being aware that guess what? The past is in the past. It cannot hurt me anymore, right? All that's left are its beautiful lessons and gifts, right? What did you learn? What's the silver lining on that cloud, right? Because we don't go through things for nothing, right? We're going through them and they're teaching us a freaking soul lesson. So what did you learn from that lesson? What did you learn from that lesson? Right? Did you learn what a red flag was? Did you learn how to stand on your yes? Did you learn how to stand on your nose? Did you learn what your non-negotiables are? Right? Did you learn to look at things from a bigger perspective and to stop being so shallow and materialistic sometimes? Or did you learn how to communicate or did you learn how not to communicate? Right? Did you learn parts of yourself that you don't ever want to see again, that you didn't like how you showed up in that relationship? Right? Because sometimes we're not who we really are in a relationship, right? Sometimes we just don't like how we're showing up. We're showing up jealous and needy and like low vibrational, argumentative, and it's like that's not me. Like who am I? I'm in this relationship and I'm outside of myself, right? Like I don't even know who I am anymore, right? We're all the enemy in somebody's story. We're all the enemy in somebody's story. So it's time to take a step back and to have some awareness of how we've been showing up and how that's been reflected back to us or how we've been in alignment with those truths, right? Sometimes we love to say like, oh, I was date a horrible guy and this person was this and this person was that and da 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 da. But at the end of the day, there's two people normally, at least two people within the dynamic, right? They didn't do this by themselves and you didn't do it by yourself. Did they pull out a part of you that was always within you that maybe you just don't like and you tried to get repressed? Yeah, guess why? That came up so you could heal it, so you could deal with it. Not so you can just keep pushing it down, but so that you can own it and get with it, right? These are the things. All right, my beautiful unicorns, what do you have for the Twin Flame Collective this week? What do they need to know? What do they need to see as we enter October and head towards a beautiful full moon in Aries? Thank you, unicorns, for being here with me, Twin Flames. What do they need to know? And what do they need to see? Amazing. 5, new opportunities, declutter your life, glimpse a magical doorway. We're leaving the past in the past and leaving it alone, right? You see how they're walking through this doorway and they're not carrying anything with them, right? That is how we need to be walking through life. We got to leave it in the past, right? It's gone. That shit is heavy. Throat chakra closing up, right? And you may not like what I have to say, right? But this is the facts. You got to leave that baggage in the back. Leave it behind you. How many times are you going to carry that bag of trauma or that bag of resentment or that bag of anger or that bag of jealousy with you, right? How many times are you going to compare your partners and lovers to the one you dated before and before and before? Like, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to sit there and listen to you a tale of you regaling all these different stories with all these different people that you dated that were freaking horrible, right? Yeah, like get it out, get it off your chest. We're not going to sit here and listen to that in a new dynamic, a new relationship, because it sounds like you're still stuck back there, right? This is where we are today and we're moving forward. What are we doing today? You might think it's a compliment to be like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're nothing like Tammy. I'm so glad you're nothing like Jimmy. And oh my God, thank you because Jimmy would have did this. Nobody wants to hear that. First of all, nobody wants to hear another name being brought up every day in their freaking relationship, just so you know. And second of all, leave it alone. You glad that I'm not like that? Fantastic. Hold that to your chest and keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here, I'm the star with you now. You're here to star with me now. Let's pour into each other where we're at. Michael, you're amazing. Samantha, you're wonderful. I love you. I'm so glad that I met you. You bring such joy into my life. You know, I love the fact that we have these times together where we can laugh, we can watch movies, and it's just so comfortable with you. And I'm so grateful for this energy. It's nothing I've ever experienced before, right? Complimenting, pouring into the person, not bringing up the bullshit from the past. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Walk through the doorway. New opportunities are in front of you. Twin flames, right? When y'all leave the baggage behind, you get to walk through the doorway into your divine union, right? To meeting your soulmates, meeting your divine counterpart, right? Into your joy, into your wonder, into your happiness, into your abundance, into your peace, into your harmony, right? Into your wealth. Every area of your life gets activated because you've decided to let some magic back into your life. You decided to take off the cloak of ego and fear, and you decided to trust the process and trust the path and trust the timing of things. And that's a game changer, folks. That's a game changer. Ascension Lift 39. Prepare for rapid spiritual growth. Be ready for opportunities. That's freaking hilarious. Be ready for opportunities, and we just got new opportunities. Right? So you're on a fast track to this. Guess what? They're not holding any bags either. They're light and they're ascending, right? Quickly, 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 quickly. This path is yours to walk, however you choose to walk it, and we all have free will. Do you want to be an accelerated program, right? Or are you like kind of intermediary? Or are you in the beginner program, right? It's all up to you. It's all up to you. You can keep the bags with you and, do some weight training if you want to swim with a coat on, carrying luggage in the middle of a wavy ocean. You can do that. Or you can let everything go, except for maybe your life vest, right? And just realize, like, I don't need that stuff because I'm trying to survive this storm right now. None of that stuff is helping me. If anything, it's just holding me down, it's holding me back, it's going to help me drown. Let me let it go so I can actually get through, right? You let it go and you rise to the top of the water and you catch your breath and you can breathe again. And then you realize, oh, the storm is actually past. Like the sun is coming out. But you wouldn't have known that because you were weighed down by all the other stuff, right? The exes, the the unhealthy relationship patterns, right? The memories of mom and dad, right? The dictates given to us by society or our culture, gender, and our race. There's always something going on, right? They got something to say about everything. They got something to say about everything. As long as we can say something to kind of separate you guys, we're going to speak on it, right? So letting that go so you can shine in your luminosity, so you can be the sovereign being that you are incarnated to be. Like you are in this meat suit temporarily. This world is a freaking video game, right? Time for you to step on one of those little freaking platters, hit the button, hit the upgrade button, you know what I mean? And just be like, right? Put on your freaking goddess armor and go rock out. Be the freaking divine masculine, divine feminine that you are. You are a freaking twin flame. Like you came here with your twin to go through some stuff, to trigger each other and to help freaking the planet ascend. Like, get to it and enjoy it. Rock out. Rock all the way out. Leave that crap in the back. Like, you came and incarnated these families to learn these lessons for a reason. You learned the lessons to do better, not to repeat them. Right? That's not the thing. It's not like, oh, let me learn how to be dysfunctional and I'm gonna go do that so that everybody my family is dysfunctional. No. You came through to learn the lesson so that you could head it there, right? And the generational curse and the trauma and the drama. This is not how we do things anymore. This is how we did things, but this is not how we're doing things anymore, right? Just because you learned a thing a certain way doesn't mean that was the right way to learn it, right? It's like learning how to read and just trying to sound out certain words from somebody who didn't know how to read themselves. So they're teaching you in the wrong way, not because they're doing it on purpose. They don't know. They don't know. So they're reading it kind of how they think it's said. And then they're teaching that to you. I can tell that by just seeing how the way some people spell their names, right? And I'm like, wow, your mom really thought that that sound was spelled that way. Like it's just not understanding like the phonetics of things, but it's not their fault, right? It's not their fault. People do the best they can from where they're at. That's it. Magical Crystal Cave, number 21. Switch on your inner light. Bring forward your gifts. You are the freaking Twin Flame Collective. Activate. Hit the upgrade button and get going, right? Bring it out. You came to raise the vibration of the planet. You don't do that by being a clown or playing small or freaking building a freaking house in your land of trauma and karma. No, you got there with kind of a map, your emotional GPS, right? Your intuition, your higher self, to get off that island to go to the land of milk and honey. Like that was the purpose of the exercise. Some of you have gotten through the quicksand. Some of you have gotten over the bridges. Some of you have swung over the freaking alligator lakes. Okay, you still got to keep going. There'll be rest areas. There'll be recharge areas, but that's not right now. That's not right now. Right now, you got to get moving. The momentum's built. You got a full bar, a full energy bar, right? Get going. Get going. Create your vision. Do what makes your heart sing. You are being nudged forward. Move. You got to keep going, right? Took a breath. All right, cool. Let me get some supplies. Let me refill my water. Let me charge my batteries. Fantastic. But you got to keep going. See this? Staircase, right? Your beautiful staircase to heaven, paradise, whatever you choose to call it. But it's telling you to keep moving forward. We get a detour in the road of life, and it doesn't mean that we just stop and we go all the way back to where we started and we just give up on the trip. No, it's a detour. Cool, so let me go this way. You see how the rainbows are on that path, what the stairs are? Guess what? You come back into alignment with your joy and your peace. Again, just because it was a detour doesn't mean that it knocked you off path. This detour might have moved you away from what you thought was your blessing, but it actually just brought you in another direction. You needed to see, feel, go through, um, ascend with where you were at, right? Go up the staircase instead of just walking on a freaking, what is that? It looks like a dead tree, right? So it moved you away from this desolate area, right, onto more solid ground. It's like a staircase of gold. And then you keep going, you keep going. The more you have faith, the more you follow your vision, the more you just keep moving. Guess what? Boom, you come right in. You go right into the freaking rainbow. You walk right into your blessings, right? Create your vision. Keep going. Move forward, right? Follow the intuitive steps and guidances that you're needed and walk right into your blessing. You're not working for it. You're just walking up the staircase. You're just trusting, trusting, trusting. And as we get closer to that beautiful full moon, right, on October 9th, I feel like more of you are going to really feel in alignment with your goals and dreams, right? It's not going to be so much of I'm wishing and on my hands and knees in the corner, like, oh God, please, Santa, Santa, please, please, please. No, it's you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try, and I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm going to figure it out, right? I'm going to make the decision, and then I'm just going to walk forward. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know where the resources are going to come from. I don't know where the time's going to come from. I don't know where the money's going to come from. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is that this is where I need to go, and I'm going to start walking. And then boom, 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 boom. It's lit, right? So that's where you guys are at on your path. Keep walking. You want divine union? Go get it. Be clear about it. Be very clear about it. Really. Remove it. Clearly decide what you want so it comes to you now, right? Create the vision. Same thing, guys. Right? Decide, visualize, move. Decide, visualize, move. Once you visualize, you get the intuitive prompt. From the intuitive prompt, you get going. Decide, visualize, move. This journey, this beautiful, passionate connection that you have within each other, right? You get there when you guys are ready to get there. You get there when you're ready to do the work to get there. You get there by taking accountability for yourself, by having an awareness of what's going on, and by being willing to show up and speak up, right? And to do the things. It may not always feel nice, right? Sometimes we got to put a little elbow grease when we're cleaning out that tub, right? Sometimes it doesn't feel good, but it looks good when we're done because we've done some really freaking hard work, right? So do that work on yourself. Don't worry so much about what they're doing because guess what they're doing? A lot of healing and growing as well, right? A lot of healing and growing as well. It's not a one-sided thing. We're all mirroring, right? You're mirroring your partner. So you got some family issues that are coming up and you're getting triggered by the jealousy, the manipulation, the lying, the betrayal, the control, the abandonment, the ghosting, the chasing, the running. Like if these are all things going on in your dynamics, time to take a step back. All right, what's up? What's going on? Why am I dealing with this? Why am I accepting this? Why am I so triggered by this? Right? If that's their path and I'm not with it, cool, I might take a step back and take a time out. There's no wrong moves in spiritual truths, right? All roads lead home. I'm going to leave it there. I love you. God loves you. Angels surround you. And I will see you next week.